What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on Stage, and it's time for Dear Kev on Stage. Today's message reads, Dear Kev, I have really changed my life around in the last couple years, but one thing I can't get over is the anger towards my mother. Growing up, my mother was the worst, being a drug addict, a thief, abuser, and a liar, but I can't forgive her even though I know I need to. Because I've learned you can't love your neighbor, then you don't love God, because God is love. I need your help on how to get over this anger so I can be closer to God. She stole money from us, beat us with any and everything she could get her hands on. I'm 29 years old and she's still a drug addict and a liar. Please give advice. Sorry for the email being so long. Keep up the good work. Loved you, man. Oh, don't say these things in the video. Sorry, I already said them. That was an accident. Okay, this is a very interesting subject because I'm going through this my own self, or went through it this last week. Here's the thing with forgiveness. It's hard to forgive people because we want them to earn it. We want them to deserve our forgiveness, and they don't. That's the thing about forgiveness. You have to forgive somebody when they don't deserve it, because there's hardly anything people can do to earn forgiveness. When you're wrong and you know you're wrong and you hurt somebody, you can't undo the hurt. You can't go back in time. The best example is Jesus, like dying on the cross for our sins and dying for people who didn't deserve it. You know, loving people who didn't love him back. That's the example that I would like to follow. But in practicality in life, it's much harder than that. Here's the thing, another thing about forgiveness. It's cliche, but it's true. You forgive people for your own sake, your own sanity, and not theirs. Because, holding unforgiveness and bitterness in your heart is like holding a hot coal. You have to let it go, because if you don't, it ends up hurting you. Now, I'll give you an example. A couple of videos ago, I talked about the relationship I had with my real dad. And this message on forgiveness was hard for me to do with Dear Kev on Stage because I can't give advice that I don't follow. It's very hard for me. So before I answer this, I had to deal with this myself. And it's interesting because in church on Sunday, the message was about forgiveness. I'm subscribed to a text blast from Hart Ramsey, and that was about forgiveness. And the singer who sang in church sang a song called A Heart That Forgives, Kevin LeVar. If you haven't heard it, look it up. So I immediately, after listening to the song, I walked out of the church, called my real dad. He didn't answer, which was almost good, and left a message saying, I forgive you. I didn't tell him you don't deserve it, but I just said, I forgive you. You weren't there, but I forgive you. Because what I had found is when he would call, I would decline I would decline his calls. I wouldn't be busy. I just would decline his calls. And I would tell myself, like in my mind, I would say, you ignored me, so now I'm ignoring you. It's time for a little payback. And then I found myself doing it more and more. I'd take, one of every 4 calls or whatever, or say I was busy when I wasn't, because I was trying to make him earn the right to talk to me. And then I just realized, like, as I heard the song, I felt like God was speaking to me. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, he's never going to earn it. So I'm just going to forgive him anyway. And he called me this morning. I was going to make this video earlier, but I ran out of time and lost my car keys. But he called me this morning and was so appreciative. And he told me that he could call me every day and apologize for the rest of his life, and it still wouldn't be enough. And that's just the truth, man. Like, people who want our forgiveness, they don't deserve it. And they can't do anything. And even DMX thing that I was watching, this is the other thing I wanted to say. When I talked to my real dad on the phone today, he said his dad left him, abandoned him, and he didn't meet him until he was 30. And he just didn't want it to take that long. So a lot of times people that hurt us are just repeating hurt that happened to them, because that's what they're taught. That's the normal for them. And the truth of the matter is, I am the man I am today because of the way my life turned out. Exactly. Like having the abandonment from my real dad and then having my stepdad take his place. Both of those factors made me be the father that I am today. And another truth of the matter is, had I been in his same situation, never knowing my real dad, having a baby at 16, 17, I can't say that I would have done anything different. And that's the thing. Like, we have to understand where people came from and all that. And I'm not doing it to justify them, but that is a factor into why people hurt us. So if you today are watching this and there's somebody that deserves your forgiveness or doesn't deserve it, I'm the same deserve it, but it's really what I mean is it's asking for your forgiveness. Whether they deserve it or not, you should forgive them. So the person who wrote this video, your mom may be a drug addict or a liar for the rest of your life. you still have to forgive her for your own sake, your own sanity, clarity, and peace. And you never know, she might come out of it and deserve your forgiveness or ask for it with a clear mind. And even if she does it, you will have peace. Because now I feel more relieved about the situation than I've had in all my life. And all I did was say, I forgive you, and mean it. And from here on out, I won't ignore your calls, and we'll go from there. So I hope this helps somebody, because it sure as heck helped me. See you tomorrow, Dear Kev on Stage.